Hello, everyone. This is Steffen P. Walz. Thank you for having me at the Beyond Festival on day 2. It's part of the Designing from Emerging Futures theme. I will talk about Creatables. Creatables are an initiative that aim to address sustainability development goals by way of games, UX, design, and co. I will share my screen to dive into what that can mean and to give you a bit of a glimpse of what we've done, where we come from, and what we have done and what we're planning to do. So Creatables are part of my work as an explorer at Deconium. Deconium is a 100% subsidiary of the Volkswagen Group. I'm also a professor of design innovation at Swinburne University of Technology in Australia. And what does that mean? Well, when I talk with my daughters about the state of the world, and we talk about the climate crisis and all these issues that are out there, I have been thinking about, particularly as part of the lockdown, what can I do to express this? I'm a designer, I'm a game designer, I'm a UX designer. So I looked at our corridor and I noticed, all right, I want to express the preciousness of the world, and maybe I can do this by showing them how small everything is in the vastness of the universe on the marble that we've got. And so I made this little augmented reality thingy where you walk down our corridor, and at scale you walk to see the moon. And whilst you walk, you also come through these kilometer, miles markers, distance markers, and they play a little sound. So it's a little bit like a playful tool, wanted to make it a little playful for them. And then you see the moon at scale, and you look back and you realize, oh, wow, this is, kind of far away, really, and very small, knowing the Earth. And so they asked, so Dad, what if we wanted to walk to Mars? And I said, well, it would be a few kilometers at this scale. And they're like, all right, so how precious is the world to us? And we need to, the world doesn't need to save us. We need to save ourselves to have a place here on this planet. So this is Moonwalk. This is a Creatable, my tiny project, amongst other things that I've done. But in reality, we really need to look at sustainability development goals overall. Here's this list that the United Nations has come up with as part of the Agenda 2030, poverty, zero hunger. I won't run you through all of them, but to me, and this is why I've come up with Moonwalk, and this is really the philosophy of Creatables, is none of these are threats. Yes, they are. But we should look at them as cross-innovation opportunities for the digital age by way of games, UX, design, and the stuff that I do and the stuff that some of you in the audience are doing. So what does that mean? Well, we've got a range of co-initiators here. Dr. Angela Frank of the Medien- und Filmgesellschaft Baden-Württemberg, a state-run agency that supports media, games, films, etc., film funding. Sven Schmidt, a games industry veteran. Sebastian Stam, a professor of game art and an indie game hero, you could say, of Black Pants Studio, Frieda Preuss and Philip Wrigley of the Spiegel Institute. And what we're thinking is, and what we've done, we're bringing together people from different audiences so they can co-create, they can come up with solutions using games in UX and design. We've run a conference on the 17th of June, and here are a few examples that demonstrate what that means, what Creatables can mean. So we had Matthew Manis of Models of Impact. This is a role-playing game where you basically create a new type of business or a new type of idea, but you design into the DNA of the business something that's to do with social or ecological and sustainability. Brilliant idea. Please go check it out. He gives away this game for free, or you can donate. Secondly, causa creations. This is where games have the theme and the mechanics to motivate you, but they do transport something, right? So Path Art, for example, by Causa Creations, a company based in Karlsruhe and in Vienna, addresses the theme of refugees, but it masquerades, it camouflages it as a Japanese-style anime in the look and feel. They do a lot of these productions, highly recommended. We also have been working as part of Creatables with the outdoor gear maker VD. VD make tents and outdoor clothing, and they're working with mixed reality technology that they had made by Lightshape, Stuttgart-based company, to at a big expo show a cow. So they didn't need to bring the cow. Because they are coming from the Allgäu, the tip of southern Germany. And they also work with iFixit, who do repair electronics. You can inquire with them, and not just electronics, but also VD's gear, right? So VD basically used Lightshape in order to also show the shredding of plastic bottles that they're using to produce their clothing. And iFixit then also work with VD to have you, as someone who has purchased stuff of them, let you repair it. So that's not exactly circular economy, but it's nearing in on that. So that's a good example of what the Creatables can mean. We also inquired with people who attended the conference and asked them, what does that mean to you, Creatable, right, in the future? So we come up with the concept, of course, of what's called environment-centered design. Nothing new, right? But we need to move away. We found that, and we get that as feedback from the human-centered design principle to really consider what's the context, how does this have an effect on the environment, on maybe other creatures, creatures that are we are co-inhabiting the world with, animals, etc. So that's a central question of digital sustainability. How can you participate? Well, I wanted to quickly show you that we're going to go and take Creatables to the Indie Arena booth at Gamescom, an online booth of booths where lots of indie game makers are coming. Beautiful also for us. We want to start a conversation with them, how they can insert the idea of SDGs into how they design games, with what types of computing devices they do this, how they host their games, right? It shouldn't be fossil fuel powered service, etc. And coincidentally, this entire brilliant idea by itself, the design has been done by Sebastian Stem, one of the co-founders of Creatables. So we'll be there. Join us, please, in August at Gamescom Online. We're also going to run a conference called Display Meets Creatables on the 15th of October. We'll have several people will focus on the question of good health and well-being, one of the SDGs. We'll have Charles Johnson, who is part of a team that's designed a fully biodegradable lifestyle collection. Yes, you can compost it. And other people, Sophie Kleber at Google, working on physical spaces and how they can reflect equity so everyone gets their share, not just the white dudes like myself. Talking Estela Renner, brilliant film producer at Maria Farinha's Filmes in Brazil, has been working lots with the United Nations, Greenpeace, WWF, etc. And Noah Forstein, who is someone who's been looking at games for health for a long, long time. And you can register, the URL is there. Please come join us there. And lastly, please do join us for a workshop. Inquire with us, go to creatables.de, fill in the form, and be in touch with us. We would like to bring this idea to you, to your organization, or to your production. Let's talk. So I want to stop here and again invite you to be a creatable with what you're doing, because that's really the idea. If you're a creative person and you are basically, sorry about that, if you're a creative person and you do something, you bring something into the world, please let's all consider how this can be tied to sustainability development goals. Thank you for your attention. Bye-bye.